Have you ever asked yourself this question: what is my purpose? In the depths of human consciousness lies an inherent longing for purpose. From the moment we become self-aware, we find ourselves pondering the meaning of our existence. What is the purpose of life? This timeless question has captivated philosophers, theologians, and thinkers throughout history. Imagine that you are the wealthiest person in the world, have a beautiful family, and own everything that one could dream of. Now think, what next? All that you own has its own purpose and function, depending on the way that it is made. But, ultimately, what is the purpose of human life? This leads us to think that the pursuit of the purpose of life goes beyond our basic survival needs, and taps into our deeper desire for fulfillment and significance. If you ask someone, what is the purpose of life, you will hear responses linked to the material world. Ideally, we can't figure out what people really want. The basis of all desires or wishes is struggle. If studying, getting a job, and settling down in life are the ultimate goals of life, then why do we not see people with good jobs walking on the street, blissfully and happily? Many people get miserable because of their jobs, which in turn can lead to serious health problems like depression and other ailments. We keep fooling ourselves at every step of our lives. Our desires of achieving or fulfilling purposes of material world keep us busy for a lifetime. What we really need to understand is that life is just a certain combination of time and energy. As we do our activities, time is ticking. It is ticking at the same pace for all of us. It may sound harsh, but it is true that every minute we spend doing our activities brings us closer to the grave. The energy is nothing but life. We can pitch life at different levels. It is one's choice to decide whether he wants to live with higher or lower levels of energy. So, there is a possibility to get an answer to our question of the purpose of life by managing our energies. Because life is a certain amount of energy, it can be enhanced if you function at one level of energy. The reason we are here is because we want to experience life. The question is how profoundly we want to experience life. Addictions, unethical behavior, and immoral thoughts can be considered to have lower energy. These lower energy levels do not help us experience life. If we want to enhance life, we have to enhance our energy levels, and that is the only way to experience life. By getting into bad habits or addictions, we cannot think that our lives are being enhanced. The greatest chemical factory on the planet is our body, and managing it in a certain way completely depends on us. If we are good managers, we can create any experience by enhancing our energy levels. This is possible with the practice of meditation, yoga, and mindfulness. Various philosophers, thinkers, and seekers of truth have taught the world what the purpose of human life is. This could vary across borders, religions, and cultures. Swami Vivekananda said, "Sense happiness is not the goal of humanity. Wisdom is the goal of all life." We find that man enjoys his intellect more than an animal enjoys its senses, and we see that man enjoys his spiritual nature even more than his rational nature. So, the highest wisdom must be this spiritual knowledge. With this knowledge will come bliss. All these things of this world are but the shadows, the manifestations in the third or fourth degree of real knowledge and bliss. In the words of Albert Einstein, a human being is part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. We experience ourselves, our thoughts, and our feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for the few people nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from the prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. The true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which they have obtained liberation from the self. Sri Ramana Maharshi, an Indian sage, beautifully said, "Your own self-realization is the greatest service you can render the world." When he was asked if individual pursuits of wealth, pleasure, and fame were wrong, he answered, "No, we cannot judge an animal's pursuit of food and procreation as wrong. Similarly, we cannot judge whether human pursuits of wealth, pleasure, and fame are wrong. They are in line with nature. However, one should understand that these pursuits should be within the bounds of morality and compassion. Pursuing these by dishonest means or by causing harm to others will not result in evolution moving forward. So, they cannot be accepted. It must be understood that people who possess the knowledge and dispassion with which they have gone beyond these pursuits are better and must be honored. The whole purpose of the evolution of the universe should never be forgotten. Ramana Maharshi also clarifies how dispassion and renunciation are higher pursuits than those of wealth, pleasure, and fame. He says, "You can find this in what human beings value. In any movie in any culture, the hero is the one who makes the biggest sacrifice. A selfless person who is willing to sacrifice his conveniences for the welfare of others is the hero. A selfish person who seeks his own convenience at the cost of inconvenience to others is never a hero. Everyone knows it at a deep level. You just need to understand your own mind at a deeper level." He further said, "This does not discourage people from following the passions in their lives. Selfish pursuit of wealth and pleasure is good for a person who is lethargic and cannot be motivated by anything else. However, the person must graduate to a more selfless worldview in which he strikes a balance between pursuing for his sake and for the sake of society. Without this, he would justify dishonesty and harming others. This approach does not discourage action. It gives a higher purpose to action." An Indian Vedic text, the Brahma Sutra, states, "Having acquired the human form of life, one must inquire about the ultimate reality. In the human being, consciousness, intelligence, mind, and senses are fully developed. Thus, a human being is totally equipped to make the deepest inquiry, the spiritual inquiry. Inquiry is the fundamental quality of life. However, unless a person is awakened to the position of questioning his true nature and the nature of the world, he is not to be considered a full human being. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. Inquiry is not only the beginning of wisdom, it is our purpose. We should seek to know about things that are beyond what we can perceive with our senses alone. Distracted by our logical, rational minds, we invent machines like the electron microscope, telescopes, etc. to try and satisfy our curiosity. But it is not enough to simply extend our senses. At some point, we must continue our inquiry into the mystery of life through means other than our limited senses and their artificial extensions. The ability to inquire about the ultimate truth of life makes the human being uniquely different from all other forms of life. Life can be seen as an eternal process of joyous spiritual discovery and growth. Overall, the purpose of life goes beyond the material and mundane aspects of existence. It involves self-discovery, service to others, spiritual evolution, and the quest for unity with the divine. While the specifics may vary across different belief systems, the common thread that unites them is the belief that life has a higher purpose, a purpose that can bring profound meaning, fulfillment, and transcendence to those who seek it. Ultimately, the spiritual journey towards discovering one's purpose is a deeply personal and transformative experience that can lead to a richer, more meaningful life. Nevertheless, the purpose of life is to live it fully, with love, compassion, higher wisdom, and a deep appreciation for the beauty and mystery of the universe. I hope you liked this video. If you are still with me, please remember to leave your thoughts in the comments below. I wish you a lovely day.